Hey guys, Timpo here, welcome to the channel. Today I'll be showing you how to dominate as Malekith the Witch King. Now a lot of people find this campaign a little bit challenging on legendary difficulty, mainly because of the starting positions. You get pushed away by Grombrindal and Valkia the Bloody right away. But today I'll show you how to basically wipe them out in under 30 turns and get your campaign on your merry way. Alright, so turn 1 is fairly straightforward. You need to see what sort of sorcerer you got and then merge her into your army. So here we have the Vicious trait, which is not exactly the best for sorcerers, but hey, it is what it is. Once you merge her into the army, you then have to fight the first fight, which is fairly straightforward. You can quite easily auto-resolve this. Next up, you want to push the Harkadra settlement right away. And that is also auto-resolvable because, you know, Malekith's starting army is pretty powerful, especially against the Skaven. So that essentially concludes the first turn. We're just gonna recruit some more crossbowmen there. Next up, see whatever you would like to build there, and also check the technology tree before you end the turn and you move on. I usually go for Route Marcher there. However, you know, after Route Marcher is up to you whether you want to go down the blue line or the red line or whatever it is you think will benefit your campaign the most. I like to go down the blue skill tree because I want to get the army upkeep and movement as much as possible. Alright, so in turn 2, what you would like to do here is check for quick democracy, get yourself some gold, make some deals.
At once. Kane's actions speak louder than words. Agreed.
My part.
Kane's priest.
Next up, once you've done exhausted all democracy options, you want to move up there and recruit some more dark shards. So here, if you get lucky enough, you can catch the next settlement and the beastmen with the pens down essentially, and get rid of them both in one fell swoop. Or if you're unlucky, then the beastmen might move away and then come back to haunt you a little bit later. Okay, so now it's turn 3. Unfortunately, the beastmen got away there. We're just going to auto-resolve this and loot and occupy it for the slaves. Now, unfortunately, you know, the beastmen are there and they will come back later. But for now, we don't have to worry about them. We're just going to fix up the settlements here and then get a move on. On the other end, however, I also like to recruit a lord here. They can start recruiting dark shots. Preferably a sorcerer. Now both of these here are crappy traits. However, I do need the extra lord. So I'll recruit one here and then I'll get some more dark shots. Now the purpose of this lord is to give me the extra troops that I need when I push the when I go to push for Valkia the Bloody, right? Because she will come down very, very hard. Now she won't come down on you straight away, but you're next in line. So you gotta make sure that you help out your allies. That way it's much easier to take her down and limits how much territory she acquires. Now this here is very important, guys. I will try and break a peace treaty with Clan Septic. There's no point fighting him anymore, right? They'll become very friendly towards you. You got the territories from them that you needed. Now they can watch that flank for you, right? So I would leave them alive. It is of great benefit. Okay, so now we're in turn 4 and we've made peace with Clan Septic. Now you want Malekith to move down here and just to see if we can make some more friends. So what I'm going to do here is I'll trade the Altar of Darkness with Grombrindal, and what that's going to happen is he will not attack me for a while, right? All I need is to buy some time while I deal with Valkia the Bloody, and then I'll move back on Grombrindal, and this will ensure that he does not attack you. Meanwhile, we'll recruit some more dark shots. Ultimately, what you're trying to avoid here is fighting on 2 fronts, and that's with Grombrindal and Valkia, right? Now, Valkia is more pressing, Grombrindal can wait. Also, I like to build a lot of outposts in other Dark Elf territories, because what that essentially will allow me to do is recruit shades from anywhere on the map. At least 4 of them per army. It is now turn 5, and Malekith will make his way down to intercept Valkia the Bloody there. So she'll be moving down to take over the Chill Road. It's just a matter of time. Meanwhile, we need to recruit as many dark shots as we possibly can. There's 2 difficult fights you'll need to fight in this campaign. One is Valkia the Bloody, and then the other one is Grombrindal. Once you wipe the floor with both of them, they're essentially incapacitated and you're free to go and take over the territories and essentially wipe them from the map. Also, be sure to check for more diplomatic options before you end the turn there, as it is free gold, right? And essentially, you're setting yourself up so later on in the campaign, you'll be confederating these factions. Also, try and rush the Black Ark as much as you can. I don't benefit much from it in this playthrough because most of the battles will be outside of the map, but eventually you will need it, so you want to pump as much growth through as you possibly can. Alrighty, so now it's turn 6, and just like clockworks, I expect Valkia the Bloody to be somewhere very close to Chill Road. Here I'll just transfer the Dark Shards into Malekith's army, and she will continue to recruit some more. You could potentially get away with recruiting 2 more than I already did, but it'll be very, very tight, right? Usually you'll end up with a similar army to what I have here, so I'll put Malekith in channeling stance just to get the extra winds of magic, because we will need them when we fight Valkia the Bloody, and we shall end the turn there. Now it's turn 7 and she's already occupied the Chill Road, which makes our life a little bit harder because she'll also get a garrison. Even though it'll be a damaged garrison, it's still a garrison nonetheless. So he will join the war against Valkia just so we can extort some more money. Don't go for military or defensive alliance. I mean, I made that mistake, but you don't have to. Just keep friendly turns with them. Now here I'll be attacking Valkia. I still cannot recruit, I still can't recruit the Black Ark there, so I'll just make the attack regardless. So as you can see here, it's giving us a valiant defeat. There's some dangerous units there, but she's got no range units, so you need to set yourself up in a way where you can pretty much corner camp and just try and bait her first, so you can get rid of her, and then the rest is piece to piece. The hero might give you a little bit of trouble as well, but Valkia is the main threat there. So this is how I've set up my formation here. I mean, it's no rocket science, no checkerboards, just a straight formation. They seem to fire, you know, easily enough as it is. So here what you want to do is essentially try and bait Valkia as fast as you can, but also just wait for your other units to deploy as well. I pulled them a little bit closer there, right behind me, even though it's going to add the extra time. And just make sure that they join the fight at the right time there. Now, the key takeaway here is to try and bait Valkia into coming over, and your archers essentially shooting the crap out of her ASAP, right? So here, guys, I'm using the chariots to try and draw her away. I was fortunate enough here that the hero and Valkia decided to push first ahead of the rest of the formation, so taking them 2 out was the hardest part. After that, it just became increasingly easier. It was a tight fight still, but if you don't take those 2 out first, you're in for a lot rougher ride, right? So here we've used our heroes to tank majority of the damage, so the rest of our army wasn't as damaged, but Malekith took a fair bit of damage, and the second mage commander took a fair bit of damage as well. But they essentially allowed our archers to fire away freely without hitting our infantry there. And with that, Valkia is essentially done and dusted. From here on out, you can just auto-resolve the rest of the fights, more or less, until you come up against Grombrindal. Here we'll just recruit a Black Ark, and he's just going to chill in Nagaron there. The main purpose of the Black Ark is just to get as much growth as possible, but also protect Nagaron, because we will be exposing that flank. We'll be pushing with Malekith straight up into Valkia's territory, and then into the Northman territory, and the other commander as well will be far away from Nagaron, so someone needs to stay back and protect it. So at this point in the campaign, we no longer need the Cold One chariots or the Blackguard on Nagaron. So if you do get rid of them, you do save yourself a lot of what's it called, income, right? So I highly recommend you disband them, but it's entirely up to you how you want to approach that. There I added some extra guard to the Black Hawk because I wasn't sure how the campaign is going to pan out. But once again, it is entirely up to you how much resources you want to invest. It is now turn 8 and you want to be recruiting some more Dark Shots there. Also, as I said, feel free to get rid of the Cold One Chariots and the Blackguard of Nagaron. You really do not need them at this stage. Just spam the Dark Shards and you should be fine. From this point onwards, however, we are just going to make our way north and clear out as much of Valkia's territory as possible before swinging back around to deal with Grombrindal. Check for any buildings you would like to build or any upgrades that are outstanding. Alright, it is now turn 9 and we will make our way north. This is a fairly straightforward fight here, however we shouldn't auto-resolve it, so we're going to fight it manually. I don't know why the auto-resolve rates are so low, but this is one of the easiest fights you have to fight. If you're lazy, just corner camper and you'll just obliterate them before they even reach your front lines. Here I'm actually going to loot and occupy this settlement. Once again, I have no intention of holding on to this settlement. I'm going to trade it back to its previous owner, only because I'll confederate them later anyway, so let them defend the settlement should the need arise, but also it'll boost them up economically a little bit as well. Here we continue to recruit Dark Shards and then we'll end the turn. Alright, so unfortunately here we'll have to force march up to Dagrak's end there, because if we don't, we'll not be able to reach it. So force march is the only way to ensure that in 2 turns we'll be able to reach and wipe out Valkia the Bloody once and for all, right? Meanwhile, she will continue to recruit, so I should have gotten rid of those a while back, but I didn't, so essentially cost me loss of income there. Nothing major, it's not campaign breaking, but it would have been nicer if I got rid of them a lot sooner, right? Because they do free up a lot of finances. Meanwhile, check if you got anything left to upgrade. If not, end your turn and then get ready to wipe out Valkia. Alright, so now it's turn 11 and we're pretty much done with Valkia. One last settlement remains there, but it's also one that's heavily fortified. So here you will have to fight this manually. It's not a difficult fight. You use your mage to thin out their ranks and then bring in your archers to wipe out the remainder of the forces. So by this stage the towers are not very strong and you can easily avoid them. So this is not a very difficult fight to do. Now, one thing to note here, guys, not most, but all of those casualties that you see there all come from that Lore of Metal mage. If you can eliminate him like sooner than I did, and you can do it quite easily, you will not sustain anywhere near as much losses, right? Here, feel free to build finances or growth or whatever it is that you like. Next step will be to get rid of the Northmen, and they're essentially a walk in the park, right, from MALEKITH. There's no threat from them. The only challenge here is how can you eliminate them fast enough so you can then focus on Grombrindal, because sooner or later he is going to break that peace treaty with you, right? The gift that we gave him, you know, only bought us so much time. However, you know, it's just enough time. This way, you know, we bought enough time to get our affairs in order, and then we can mount an offensive against him. You won't even have to break the truce yourself, he'll do it for you. So then when you do attack him or you declare war on him, you won't get that penalty. So turn 12 is fairly straightforward. We're just going to get rid of the Northmen here. So we'll start marching one of our armies up there, while MALEKITH will be making his way down south to take over their other settlements, because they got 2 settlements to the right and 2 settlements to the left. Meanwhile, we'll be recruiting some more Dark Shards there. I'd recommend using raiding stance while you move with MALEKITH, while he recovers some of the losses there that we suffered from the previous battle. I wouldn't use any rights this far in the game. You'd want to save them for up when you verse Grombrindal later on. Also, don't forget to check if there's any buildings available or any tech tree talents that you want to take up before you end the turn. Alrighty, it is now turn 13 and we want to get rid of these guys ASAP. They're running away there, but we still might be able to reach them here. This is a straightforward fight because MALEKITH will wipe the floor with them. However, unfortunately, we were not able to reach them there. So we'll also move this army more, but first we're going to recruit some more Dark Shards there and end our turn. Alright, so turn 14 we'll go straight to the Glacial Gardens there, As I said, this is a straightforward fight, garrison or no garrison. I don't understand why it's giving us a valiant defeat there, because this is one of the easiest fights you'll ever get to fight in this campaign. Now that that battle's over, we are going to go forward and occupy this settlement. All the threat from these guys is essentially over by this point. Their armies are more or less wiped out, so it's pretty smooth sailing from this point onwards. In terms of the tech tree, you want to rush Forge to Kill as soon as possible for the range and the reload speed, also the damage. So I would highly recommend you go down that path first. Alright, so it's now turn 15 and we are moving towards the Palace of Ruin, which is the last settlement on the right hand side of the map. Now, the issue here is the Beastmen, right? Here I'm contemplating attacking them, but they're only going to run away, so the best thing to do here is to make sure you can reach the settlement towards the end turn, but also catch the Beastmen if they do decide to go towards the Glacial Gardens there, right? Teneska here will go ahead and capture the Glacier encampment there. Once again, straightforward fight it manually. This is also a very easy fight. They won't even, do anything to your army, so just wipe them out and then don't auto-resolve it. As you can see here, we've suffered 0 losses and the game was giving us Pyrrhic victories. So occupy. You don't want to have revolts happening here, because as soon as we occupy this, we'll be moving on to greener pastures, quite literally. So don't let this revolt against you, right? So here I'm gonna recruit some infantry, and this is when the outposts come in handy. So I'll grab myself some shades there from Hagriff and some more what's it called, one more shade from Gron there, right? Alright, so now it's turn 16. The Beastmen moved down south, but don't be fooled, they will be back, right? There is that player bias there. They will come for you eventually. So we're going to continue raiding here because we cannot reach the Palace of Ruin just yet. And meanwhile, Teneska will continue to march forward. Also here, we would like to recruit 2 more units there, which will complete your full stack, right? And then you can just move out on Iron Frost there and take him out once and for all, and after that you are left with Grombrindal. Turn 17, we take the Palace of Ruin. This is not even going to be a challenge. Auto-resolve it, occupy it. Once again, this is not something you want to revolt against you, so just take the resources there, or whatever it is that you need, whatever your campaign lacks. Build it. I'd like to destroy the military building there because I will not be recruiting anything from them. And here, as you can see, I've gone down the blue line. I like the extra movement, but also the upkeep cost, because I'll be pumping out a lot of armies, right? On the other end of the spectrum, Teneska there is going to go to Iron Frost and just wipe them out there. Once again, I'm gonna fight this manually, which means the other army will survive, but they'll be forced to attack you at the end turn anyway, so it's really no brainer there. Don't take the losses, fight them manually, wipe them out. Much easier there. Once the battle is over there, occupy the settlement and then end the turn. Make sure you check for any upgrades or tech trees or even character developments that you haven't ticked yet. Alright, so turn 18, because I'm aligned with Haganeth, I joined against Sigvald in the war here. I'm a very aggressive player, you don't have to do that, which means that flank will be more or less covered for a while. However, here I opt to bring MALEKITH back to deal with the Beastmen, because they're still lurking there somewhere over there. And I don't want to leave them in the middle of my territory, so they can then cause issues later on in the track. So I will bring MALEKITH back and then essentially recruit another lord there. They'll farm Northmen for slaves in essence, but it will be a while before we build up that army. Also over the end turn, Gron declared war on Grombrindal, who killed off his peace treaty with me just the turn before. So here we are just going to go and roll right over him. So which means we need to be acting fast, because he will start sending armies down our way. So I was fortunate enough that one of the armies was next to the settlement there. I recruited a lord and attacked him, and now I'm just going to disband this lord here. Cool. Now, where's my other army? My other army is up the top here, and she'll start marching down towards the Altar of Darkness there. Turn 19, we'll move down towards the Altar of Darkness and take it. So we can't take it straight away, so we'll need to launch an attack here next turn. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map here, we have the Beastmen, which essentially attacked our settlement. So we are going to go and challenge them. They have a decent army, so they will stand and fight us, which makes our lives much easier here. If only all Beastmen stood their ground. I'm just going to resolve it. I'm too lazy to fight it manually, so I'll use that unit and then I'll just recruit another unit, right? I'll take the slaves there, and that should put an end to the Beastmen. Meanwhile, I left another lord behind there, and this lord there essentially will just guard from any Northmen coming to attack us from that flank, so we're pretty much secured. Yes, it's extra upkeep cost, but we're going to be fighting so many battles going forward that we're not exactly going to be strapped for cash. We might run a little into the negative here and there, but nothing campaign breaking, right? If you're an aggressive player like I am, then the more battles you fight, the better off you are financially. Alright, so now here we want MALEKITH to make his way down towards Grombrindal, because we'll need MALEKITH's army to take out Grombrindal here, and we'll be force marching down ASAP. Over here, we'll be recruiting some more. This is where the shades come really useful. And the outposts, sorry, come really useful because I use those to essentially recruit 4 units that otherwise I may not be able to recruit. From the tech tree here, you want to get reworked crossbows for the extra range and ammunition there. It is imperative, as all we're going to be running are going to be crossbowmen and shades. So no more movement for MALEKITH there. Our lord there is recruiting, so we don't have to worry about that for a while, and I think we're just going to end the turn. It is now turn 21. We want Teneska to push back up to deal with those dwarfs up there and essentially take out the territories. Given that they're sending only half an army up, it tells me that Grombrindal's army is down south somewhere, which gives Teneska their free reign to go and catch the Elder Spire and the settlement adjacent to it. Meanwhile, MALEKITH is going to force march down towards Nagaron and try to take over Temple of Cain, etc. Meanwhile, Clan Septic is also on their heels as well, so that is why keeping Clan Septic alive was a key decision. They're just there to buy you more time, right? There's no reason for you to destroy them outright when you can just destroy them later on in the game. Let them be cannon fodder, exactly what this Skaven was designed to be, right? And we're gonna end the turn there. Malice declared war on these guys, so I had to join the war there. So we're not going to accept a peace treaty just yet. We'll accept a peace treaty with them once we confederate Malice. Alright, turn 22. This campaign is well and truly on its way. We're going to attack the dwarves here. Easy auto-resolve battle. You know, nothing noteworthy here. We'll just continue making our way down towards the Elder Spire. There should be no other armies in the area. There should be eventually an army down at Dracula Spire, which they'll start recruiting. But for now, it is smooth sailing there. We don't have to worry about it. Now, the downside is we have an army there, essentially half a stack that does nothing. But the time will come for them to spring into action because the Northmen will start. So Sigvald's vassals will start sending soldiers up our way. And that's essentially free slaves and money for us. Meanwhile, you want to be pumping out the growth on that arc and also get the building that recruits shades ASAP, because that arc will come in handy once you start moving in all Thuan and surrounding area, right? So recruit some more here. Yeah, and I think that pretty much covers all of our bases this turn. It is now turn 23 and surprise, the Northmen are knocking on our door there. It says it's a valiant defeat, but this is also one of the easiest fights you get to fight. I don't know why the auto-resolve favors them so much. Like, these guys are going to get absolutely obliterated. I feel like Norska is such a bad... I feel like the Dark Elves are such bad matchup for Norska. It's like they have nothing that can counter the Dark Elves if you have a solid Dark Elf army. unless they're running mammoths, but the AI doesn't run mammoths doomstack, so you're pretty much safe in that regard there. So here you want to recruit some more shades, which is why building outposts is very, very important, guys. You accumulate those points over time, and it's like free recruitment from anywhere essentially. Then down here, so we have her, so she's gonna push down the Elder Spire once again. Easy peasy here, no real challenge. Auto resolve it, occupy it, and then move down. So I should have occupied it there, because essentially that will cause a revolt for me, and I have to use slaves to quash the revolt, well, to prevent it from happening, right? So just occupied there. I wasn't exactly strapped for slaves, but I did it anyway. So here we are going to push towards the Temple of Cain there. I'm not sure where Grombrindal, oh there's Grombrindal's army there, right? So they are going to attack us on an end turn. Guys, don't push so boldly forward unless you're confident you can win the fight. Otherwise it is a tough fight, right? So be prepared before you make a move on Grombrindal there. Okay, so now over the end turn here, Haganeth wants military access, which is fine. But here we're about to get attacked by Grombrindal, which is the ancestral throne there. And look, it's a bad matchup, but we did use one of our rights, which should give us a little bit of an edge once they push towards us. So I'll show you how I set up and how I thin them out before they got to my ranks. Otherwise, if you don't thin them out, then this is a very, very difficult fight to win. So the easiest way to go on about doing this is essentially to corner camp it. So you want to make sure that you have both sides covered, because the wall will only protect you from your right hand side, and obviously they can't flank from behind. So you do need to be prepared to get that left flank covered. So the strategy here is simple. Once you've set up in the corner, send your mage and Malekith to harass the army and try and essentially separate the main force from that little force down on the side. You want to divide and conquer, because if they come at you in pieces, you'll just tear them to shreds, right? The most dangerous units are the archers here, because they outrange you and they will do some damage. So having Dark Conduit here and sending Malekith right in the middle of it, and then using Dark Conduit on their archers, is a very, very good idea. Otherwise you are in for a world of hurt there, right? Now Malekith will take some damage there, especially since he's on a chariot. However, it's still very worth it. Don't use Dark Conduit on your mage, because then it will put like an 80-second cooldown on your abilities. So here we've managed to thin them out and then take him down. We've inflicted the army losses there, but Grombrindal is essentially unbreakable, right? So you will need to take care of him ASAP. I wouldn't say he's unkillable, but he's definitely unbreakable, right? So try and thin out his army as much as you can, because they will run away after the end turn. So what I've done here is I've set up my archers forward, and then I've got Malekith to kite Grombrindal down towards the archers, and then I shot the crap out of him. Now if you do it smart enough, you won't take as many losses like me there, but this is the second toughest fight you will fight this campaign. Once you get rid of Grombrindal, right, it is smooth sailing from there on, guys. Then you have to deal with the Beastman and then the high elves after that, but by then you should be able to start pumping out shades from your Dark Arc, so on and so on. So your campaign will ultimately start to snowball here. It is now turn 24. We moved from the Elder Spire down towards the last settlement there on that side, and here we'll take over the Temple of Cain, which essentially leave them down to one settlement. Grombrindal, however, managed to get away there, but once he runs out of settlements, he'll be forced to attack us, right? So no matter where he attacks us, he is going to get absolutely wiped. As you can see, guys, from this point onwards, the campaign will just start snowball. It's really not a difficult campaign if you make the correct choices. All that really stands in your way is Valkia the Bloody to begin with, and then Grombrindal, right? Once you stomp them, then the world's your oyster. No one will stand in your way. You start confederating. Haganeth can hold her own there. You can help her push Sigvald once your army up there is complete. So essentially you're pushing from 3 sides, right? You got 3 armies, and then we all know what happens once you start making Shade Doom stacks, right? Anyways guys, please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If this is something you enjoyed, and I'll continue making more guides. But this campaign is pretty much over. From here on, you just snowball and there is no stopping you, right? Especially once you hit Ulthuan, you'll be printing money and slaves there. As always, Dinpo here. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you guys next video. Peace.